Thank you for joining us for another week of Black Coffee and Crime. This is episode number 68, the second episode of 2022. And somebody is talking in class. Um, this is the second episode of the year, and already 2022 is acting up and showing out like ridiculously. So, again, thank you all for joining us. If you're new to watching the show, the way this goes is it is completely unscripted. We know what we're going to talk about, we just don't know what we're going to say. If anything offends you, triggers you, or anything like that, please click the X button up in the top right corner. Come back next week. We'd rather you feel safe than watch the show. Um, let's see. We get all of our information from the internet. So if we misspeak, blame the internet. Um, but we don't do it on purpose. We're not here to hurt anybody's feelings or to bash or malign anybody. We're just talking. Leave. You can always leave constructive criticism on our Facebook page and on Instagram at Black Coffee Crime, and then also email us at info@blackcoffeecrime.com. Constructive criticism. You don't have to be nice, but you have to be respectful. So there's that.
And you get
All
emails?
right.
Is the
All
emails?
right. So here's the church announcements. That's something else we do. We do church announcements. So these are the announcements as follows.
Wait, Brandy, do emails come in?
Not really. We really don't get any emails like that, but I
They
just
just
figured,
post on the pages.
right, since I paid for it, you might as well just go ahead and let you know. It's available. If you wanted to do it the old school way, if you had something long and drawn out to say, um, email it at info@blackcoffeecrime.com. Also, if you have any show ideas or information that you want to let us know about, an episode that we've already done, email it, Instagram, Facebook, however you want to do it. Also, leave comments in that particular episode if there's anything that we missed or anything that we need to go back and kind of correct or talk about again. Leave it there in the episode. So we do respond to those. Like I said, you don't have to be nice, but you have to be respectful. So we still respond to you. But here are the church announcements. Just found out that for those of you that missed the fume, Miss Betty's fume last week or the wake, I just found out that Betty White actually had a stroke about a week before she passed on, and that contributed to her, leaving us. But again,
Prematurely.
prematurely at 99. You know that you have lived a great life if people say you left too soon at 99 and some change.
Mm-hmm.
If you 99 and some change and people say you still going too soon, that's for real, for real. So that speaks to Sister Betty. Since then, Sidney Poitier has passed. Oscar winner, activist, has passed. I believe he was 94. Was he 94? 94, 94 years old. James Mtume has also passed away. So if you were born prior to 1982, then your parents played the hell out of James Mtume, and all the music that he wrote and produced. You heard it. If you don't know who that is, just put Mtume in your search bar and go from there and enjoy. He's passed on. I don't know the gentleman's name, but the co-founder of Parliament Funkadelic passed on this past week. And then Bob Saget, Danny Tanner, gone.
The bereavement ministry is going to be very busy.
Yes. So if you need some prayer, get on the prayer line. Brandy's mom is always on the prayer line, so I'm quite sure you can catch her at any
She's
given
probably on it right now.
She's probably on it right now. 2022 is very serious.
Came
Also,
in with a vengeance.
man, and
There's a whole nother there now.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So there was the Delta variant, and then there was Omicron, and then now there's Deltacron. These sound
And,
like
and
Transformers
Flurona. Don't forget about Flurona.
and Flurona.
Mhm. Yep.
Y'all, I just started working from home about 2.5 weeks ago. And if I tell you, it's crazy working from home because you really don't get to leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the time different. The time, since the time changes dark at like 5 o'clock. So I'm up at 6, getting myself together so I can log in, and I'm sitting in front of my computer pretty much all day. But who is thankful that they do not actually have to go out and meet the public and be amongst the people? Because if I had to go to the office, I would probably have to catch a train just because of traffic. And then walk in the masses. And then where my building is this huge, huge, huge building downtown. And there's thousands of people in there, and I would have to be in the ass crack of dawn. So I am so glad that I don't have to actually leave the house unless I really want to. I go get the mail, walk around a little bit, and that's it. Because they got the Flurona, the Deltacron, Omicron, Delta Force, all of it. It's too much. It's too much. So again, if you don't get vaccinated, do you? If you do get vaccinated, do you? But in any case, be careful, be safe, be mindful of where you are, and go get tested.
I know Brandy hasn't, but Jackie, have you had to go get tested due to being around exposed or being around someone who had Rona?
No, but I had got sick. I want to say it was that last week or the week before, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared. And then I had to get my endoscopy for an upcoming surgery I have. So you naturally have to get tested. So I got tested within the same time frame and came back negative. But I didn't expect to be as excited as I was to know
If you didn't
that
have
the
it,
test was negative. I was so excited because I know a lot of people that have it and they were down for like 2+ weeks.
yeah.
And
Well,
some of them still have it.
the CDC is now down to 5 days, that you only have to quarantine for 5 days. And if you are asymptomatic, they are telling you to go to work. Those are the most dangerous people, the asymptomatic people, because I don't know if I have it or not. I have a sniffle, like I have a sniffle right now, but I've been in the house.
Why when you were saying that, Brandy, my husband was saying the same thing. He's like, they're making people go back to work.
Yeah. The asymptomatic people are the worst.
Well, I don't, which is stupid because usually if you're asymptomatic, you don't know you have it. Right. Unless you were around someone who had it already. So that's crazy.
Right.
I took a test, what was it, a week and a half ago, Brand?
Mm-hmm.
Week and a half ago. I didn't think it was going to come back negative, but thank God it did. But then I have this lingering cough and sore throat and, headaches. And so I'm scheduled for another one on Wednesday.
But here's the thing about this whole thing is that we can't even have a normal late winter cold anymore because we're all scared that we've got COVID or Flurona or something. You gotta I have a runny nose right now. You can hear the scratchiness in my in my voice. Maybe that's because I don't talk to anybody all day because I don't have to talk when I'm at work. I'm just DMing and I am in people all day. So maybe that's it. But you can't have a regular cold because if someone comes to your house and they're sniffling, you'd be like,
Don't don't. And I was in public and coughed.
I still have a cough. So
the mean looks I got from coughing. But the thing is, if they had coughed, I'd been looking at them crazy too. Like,
Girl, we all walking around here like Lou Rawls at the UNCF trying not to cough during the song.
I just watched that the other day.
You just holding it in. We are all Lou Rawls around here because we don't want the suspicion of, having something and people looking at us funny. But speaking of
Lou Rawls,
if you haven't seen that, please enjoy yourself on YouTube. It is Lou Rawls coughing fit. UNC.
When I tell y'all, I laugh at that still. I'm talking about loud laugh. I don't even care. When Lou Rawls, I mean, then be like, you cannot keep showing me this video laughing like this.
I mean, he carries that cough for a good 3 minutes. I don't know how the man can breathe.
Them eyes still trying to sing.
Lou Rawls is the legend. He sung through a 3-minute long cough. He is a legend. Now, speaking of getting tested, okay, this is not funny, but it's hilarious. About 3 or 4 days ago, here in Houston, Texas, a mother was arrested at a COVID testing site for stuffing her 13-year-old in the trunk of the car because she didn't want to be exposed to COVID. Now, this is the way the story goes. The boy has COVID. And so she was taking him to get additional testing for COVID, but she didn't want to be exposed. So she put him in the trunk of her car. She pulls up to the testing site and she's like, I need a test for my son. And the medical
I was looking in the car like, boy, where is he?
Right. So the medical professional is like, he needs to be here in order for us to test him. She's like, hold my beer. She pops the trunk and gets the boy out the trunk, and he's laying there like a mob kidnapping victim in the trunk of the car. So
but did you see that mugshot?
No, I didn't see it.
She didn't look like she gave a damn that she did it.
You send it to me.
She didn't give a damn that that key was in the bag. I can promise you that.
She's thinking like, I wasn't trying to get no Rona.
Listen, so the people tell her that, like you need to put him in the car, like you need to get him out. So he gets out of the car and he goes in the back seat, and then they call the police and the police come and get her. But she was like, I don't want to get caught. Like, he's in your house. How do you whoop? My thing is, if you put him in the trunk of the car to transport him, what were you going to do when you got him back to the house?
Yeah.
Like,
what if she got rear-ended?
And in Houston traffic, that is entirely possible.
It's always burgers. Jenny's like, it's not funny, but it's funny.
It's hilarious. I need to see the mugshot. Hold on.
I'm gonna find this picture right now.
Let me see if I can find the mugshot.
It was in the neighborhood talk because, baby, I said, baby, she don't have a curve in the world.
She's looking like what? I didn't want to get COVID.
Yeah, she was released on $1,500 bond, so she only paid $150 to get out. Oh, well, wait a minute. This gets worse, y'all.
Oh, it wasn't a mugshot. It was just her being happy. This is the picture. Look, that's the picture they chose for. Can y'all see it? I'm gonna sit in it. It wasn't, baby, she don't have a curve. Why do you have to pick the happy picture?
Her name is Sarah Beam, and she's a teacher at Cypress Falls High School.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Did she get charged with child abuse?
Endangering a child.
Mm-hmm.
She can lose her job.
You about to lose your job.
Hope it was more,
I guess she's saying, as long as I don't get no Rona.
I'm gonna look at mugshot.
They're probably not gonna fire her though, because they need teachers. Let me look at the picture.
I'm gonna look at this right now.
I'm gonna look up a real mugshot though.
Oh, that's her school picture. That's the old school yearbook picture.
Oh yeah.
I said they'd have to pick that one though.
According to that picture, she don't give a damn about nothing.
She's still like, what's the problem? What's going on?
She don't give a damn about nothing. Son, all I'm saying is go live with your daddy because
What
your
the boy
mama don't
14?
care. 14.
So 14-year-old males, they start getting tall around that time. So he was quenched all in the back.
She stuffed the shit out of him like a pizza from Pizza Hut. She stuffed the hell out of him. Get your ass in this trunk.
Well, we was
Who
stuffed it
closed
up like
it?
one of them Taco Bell tacos.
And I think that he tested positive at school. So she's put him in the trunk of the car at the school. Because the police ran some video back and they could see her at a school making him get into the trunk of the car and then driving off.
What?
So, yeah.
It's not funny. She ought to be ashamed of herself.
It's not funny.
I'm gonna
but
find
it is funny. It is quite funny. I mean, it shouldn't be.
I promise you, I'm gonna find a mugshot. Give me I can't stare at my phone too long, but I'm gonna find that mugshot tonight.
Jackie is our resident picture getter because yeah. Okay. I guess we didn't finish with the talking about the plans for all the fumes. Yeah, so 2022 has come in and kind of did a sweep, and we ain't even midway through the month yet.
Nope.
We're gonna lead a lot of folks to bring some stuff to the repast because we got so many folks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna need some extra deacons and ushers. We might have to ask a sister church if we can borrow a couple of their ushers and deacons since we done got so many fumes on.
The body get tired and you get weary after a while, but you got to be vigilant.
And Mr. Jemison, he asking for anybody to help with the janitorial services at the church because he said he ain't gonna be able to handle all them fumes.
Yeah. Brother Jemison.
Anybody can help get a hold of Brother Jameson.
Just keep their families in prayer, family and friends. There's a lot of people, especially concerning Bob Saget. Very much a surprise. Shock to his death. He was found in a hotel room on Sunday, and he had done a show the night before. He had tweeted about Betty White and not really knowing what happens next in the afterlife or whatever, and then unfortunately he passed. So a lot of sympathies and tears about Bob Saget. So again, even though we don't know these people, they're still people. They still have family. They still have friends. So keep them in prayer. I don't know what Jackie is singing over there, but she's singing.
She's practicing for.
I'm singing "Going Together."
Oh,
practicing her song for the funeral. She gonna sing that song at every funeral because she said she ain't got time to be working on all the songs. So Brother Brooks, who played the organ, can only be there for one rehearsal. So she only got one song, just an A selection for the people. She don't have a B selection.
Yeah. And I was practicing "Anybody Ask You." That's all that feel. Where I'm going.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to find the song.
Where I'm going. That's when they start crying out. That's when they get a little crazy.
Y'all hear it?
No. No.
Still can't hear it?
Just like, that's when everybody start falling out, That's when they go down at the funeral.
You know what? It's a good thing that you can't hear it because last week I included a song and I got flagged and I had to take it out. I did the Golden Girls theme at the end of.
How long was it? 30 seconds?
It was like 15. It wasn't even 15 because I tried to keep it under 10.
Because I thought you can do a song as long as it's not over a certain amount of minutes.
I think it was 11 seconds, so I had to shorten it. So give me the option to shorten it. But yeah, I had to do it for copyright. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that you can't hear it because then I don't want the YouTube.
But you ain't got to pay for a rendition, do you?
No. They just
rendition.
Rendition.
No. All right, so those are the announcements as follows. Please govern yourselves accordingly. There that is. All right, so this week, the subject that we have is vast, almost too big to talk about. So we wanted to focus on one particular incident, but then also kind of talk about the history of school shootings. It seems like we have one, if not every week, then every other week. Here in the United States. We're getting a little bit of feedback. I don't know where that's coming from. Is that me? So in other countries, you when you hear about a shooting or a school shooting, it's a shock to hear about a school shooting in Germany or in England or any place like that because they have very strong gun laws there. But here with the Second Amendment and the way that people interpret the Second Amendment, it is impossible for any sort of gun reform or strong gun laws. Hold on. Where's that feedback coming from? Do y'all hear it?
Any feedback?
Yeah, I hear feedback from myself.
I don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything. It sounds normal.
All right. Okay, yeah. So it's very rare to hear, about things in other countries, but here, I think we are just used to hearing about it. And that's a very unfortunate thing that if you hear about a school shooting, we don't even have the same reaction that we would have had 10, 15 years ago. We don't have those same reactions anymore. It's just kind of expected. It's tragic, but it's expected. School shootings, mall shootings, theater shootings, church shootings, these things happen all the time. So we're going to focus on school shootings. And right now we're going to talk about Sandy Hook, which happened in December of 2012. So Jackie, if you want to tell us what happened.
Okay, so because the story doesn't have a motive, which makes it even more frustrating because there's no motive. Okay, but it started out on December 14th, 2012. Well, let me get this time proper that he actually did this. But he started off at home around 9:30ish, where he shot his mother, and then proceeded to go to the school. This is a quick brief overview before we get into it. And then proceeded to go to the school that I believe she worked at, and shot the school, including 20 children between the ages of 6 and 7, 6 adult staff members as well. And then he ended up, of course, being the loser that he is. He decided to kill himself because he's a loser. Again, there's no motive. He shot up his mother. Nobody knows what happened. I don't even think there's that much briefness on him having like this horrible childhood where people attacked him, and there's nothing there whatsoever. But he just killed his mom. Next day, went up. I think the one thing they did mention is that he had some anxiety, but anxiety, as a person who suffers with anxiety, first of all, that would be too much for me to even try to deal with because my mind couldn't grasp the fact that I'm about to do this. You can't grasp that. Your mind is already wondering, what if I do this? This will happen, that'll happen, this will happen. your mind just goes into a consistent wonder at all times of nervousness. So the anxiety plays no part at all. I guess they put that in there just to feel some type of way. But it's you got to be pretty sick to just shoot babies. Pretty sick.
Yeah. So what you're talking about, like the mental illness. He did have the, he attended Sandy Hook Elementary School.
Right.
Um, his name Adam Lonzo or whatever his name, Adam Lonzo.
I didn't
So he attended the school. They did say that, typical, he's a loner. So this is about a year later. They said that, he had severe mental health issues. But then there were some other medical professionals who said none of the mental health issues that he experienced warranted or explained the extremes that he went through that morning. And especially since there's no clear motive, there was no note, nothing to indicate. Now, the thing with his mom, though.
Yes. So
the thing with his mom, with him killing his mom with a gun that she purchased for him,
22 caliber
rifle, is kind of telling. Just in the fact that he killed her, and we can speculate all day long of why he did that, but there had to be some sort of resentment, maybe because the father wasn't there. The area of Newtown had like less than 30,000 inhabitants, citizens. So it's a pretty affluent area. It's pretty affluent, pretty well-heeled people there. So I can just assume that he was spoiled, maybe coddled, all the things that you want your kid to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wonder what happened or where it turned around, where it went wrong with Adam for him to turn on his mom and kill him and kill her and then go to the school and do that. Had he had any sort of incidents prior to this? Did he have a traffic ticket? Anything?
I don't recall nothing.
But why shoot up the elementary school? He didn't go shoot up the high school.
Right. That's like the $1 million question. Why the elementary? I mean, he took magazine. I mean, it was, first of all, it had to be planned. He took magazines. He made sure he took a gun. He made sure that when he went in there, he locked himself in. So he already had the plan. It was planned, definitely.
He probably been thinking about it for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Just why?
Do you think it's sort of some revenge of, some old 12-year-old revenge, since he had been at the school, that, if he was a loner, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, like it was some sort of internal manifesto, like, I'm going to kill my mom, then I'm going to kill, I'm going to show them that kind of thing. But again, it's crazy.
I'm not sure, because
never know.
And that time now, and I say this in the nicest way possible. The kids in this decade are very weak. They cannot handle a lot of things. So I can see a 6 or 7-year-old later on in life in this age going back to kill people for that reason, for 6 and 7. But if we look back at this time and 2012, I just couldn't see you thinking, okay, well, in 2000, this, somebody made fun of me. I'm going, but then again, I mean, was he I don't know. I just couldn't see that age group. I just couldn't see that age group maybe concepting that. This age group,
something like, go ahead.
I'm finished.
No, it could have been one of those situations where he's like, I wanting to make a name for himself, or everybody's gonna know who I am, or something. And then somehow his mom, might have just been collateral damage. Like he might not have meant to kill his mother, but something, they had been arguing something. Then they said he'd been arguing in the morning with his mother.
Yeah,
So, but it might have been one of those things. Everybody gonna know my name, and I'm gonna be, some killers have that.
Yeah. I think a lot of school shooters since Columbine, and I think Columbine was unique. Not unique in school in the fact that it was a school shooting, because we've learned that school shootings in America started way before the 21st in the 20th century. But I think Columbine was unique in them having a manifesto, them having a plan and saying, this is why we're going to do this, and having this checklist of things to get and people to shoot, of what they're going to do. And I think almost I'm probably very wrong at this, but it seems that most planned school shootings after that have been modeled after Columbine. And in that there's a manifesto, it's this imagined slight against someone slighted you somehow, and they just amp it up. And like you said, Jackie, it's not just these modern kids in these last 15 years who are weak. I think that after Generation X, which is us, and those kids who came, the 1983, 1984, after that, I think we lived in a time of excess. Lots of money was being created during the late 80s and the 90s. And so even those of us, our parents who weren't considered rich, had a lot of money. There was a lot of money just to be made in the 80s and the 90s. And our parents, and a lot of us, especially, inner city kids, urban kids, our parents lavished everything upon us, from video games to bikes and all these things. And then we have the internet. And so we're getting more and more and more and more and more. But our parents are spending less time with us, less quality time. We're learning less. We're being taught less wisdom is being passed on. Our grandparents are getting younger and younger every year. So we don't have grandma and grandpa, we got Mimi and Papa. And right, Gigi and things like that. So we're getting, these kids and these people are getting to a place where everything is given to them and everything is in excess. And then when you don't give it to me, no matter what it is, and no matter who they want it from, if they don't get it, then that's a betrayal. Right. My teacher didn't give me the right grades. That's a betrayal. Not you didn't earn them, but they didn't give it to me. This girl didn't give me her telephone number. It's a betrayal. This boy didn't, I wasn't able to join in his clique or, his little gang or whatever. It's a betrayal. And they take it to extremes. And unfortunately, us as parents, we're like, well, yeah, it's their fault. Mm-hmm. It's never little Jimmy's fault.
I think it's the influx of information. If there was a school shooting when we were younger, if it wasn't in our city,
we didn't know.
We wouldn't have known about it. I mean, I used to watch the news in the morning before while I was getting ready for school. But if I didn't watch, one day I didn't know what was going on until I came home and read the paper. And how many kids was going home reading the paper?
How old was you? That was my question.
I was in high school. 9th, 10th, 11th. So I watched the news every morning before I got ready. And read the paper when I got home.
He was always this way.
But most kids weren't like me. So you wouldn't have heard about nobody doing a school shooting or anything like that unless it was, you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't, unless they were a celebrity who went and shot up something, then you would know. But we just didn't have that information at our hands. We didn't have nobody to copy because we didn't even know what happened.
There's that. I think that's very, very valid. But also too, we had fear.
Indeed.
we had fear. We had fear of the principal. We had a healthy fear of campus security. We had a healthy fear of our parents. Um, no matter what you did not want your mama to get off her good job and come to the school. You did not want to embarrass your mom with your behavior. But nowadays, we live in an era of honorable mentions and participation trophies. Let me tell you, and I'm very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like honorable mention. Keep your certificate. I don't like participation trophies. Keep that little cup, that little
I went
6 inch
away.
thing. I don't want that. I don't want that. My family, we don't believe in honorable mentions. You try your best. If you didn't get it, you just didn't get it.
And that's okay.
You just didn't get
Everyone
it.
can't win.
That's not your thing, boo. Try something else, or we'll try
Everyone can't
again
win.
next season. But what you're not going to do, now I'm proud, and you should be proud of your accomplishment and your efforts, but don't be proud of second place.
Right.
Don't sit in a place, you don't sit here and be proud of I got second. No, be proud that I did it, but tell the first place winner, I'm coming for your job next year.
Yeah, I was doing someone's nails this weekend,
Mhm.
and she's old school. She's an old school lady, and her daughter was talking, and she said, I had to talk to my mother and let her know that, Mom, you never really gave us a chance to express certain emotions, and so that we can be, able to say what we want to say, how we want to say it. And baby, her response was, in my house, she said, see, that's probably the problem.
Yeah, feelings.
In my house, you don't have feelings. You have feelings, but it's whatever I say that goes. She said, so I'm not going to do that. Even as a grandmother, she said, no, it's what grandma says, and that's what it is. And just to listen to that, because even my daughter had came to me once and was like, Mom, I understand because I was very old school and still am. What I say goes. There is no why. There's no why. I wish you would ask me why. So, but she came to me and was like, Mom, nowadays you have to learn how to let us have a chance to express what we have to say. So, I compromise, let her talk, like this.
My mom let us express ourselves. Me and my sister actually was just talking about this other day, but we had this fear of my mom, which now seems so irrational because my mom is like such a pushover. Like she's just, but we had fear that, if we didn't do something, we would have got in trouble. And then, mama would have done whatever, but mama wasn't going to do whatever because but we
That's
had
mama.
that fear that she would. Now that
Baby,
we're older,
other
we was like,
man.
dang, we could have got away with all kinds of stuff,
But
but
the
we were too
fear,
scared
but
to
the
do it.
fear was installed though by that certain type of raising. Because my mama ain't a child. We even had two of us. But I swear to God, when she would tell us she was gonna get us, we would be terrible. First of all, I'm scared to do this and that and that because mom gonna get me. I'm not gonna talk back. I'm scared. I'm scared to do this. I'm scared to do that. And even though my mother, if like you said, is a pushover, complete and utter pushover, it's still something she had to been doing in that manner that instills some type of fear in me from the jump to where I knew not to even try her.
We
So it
couldn't go
was
down there and do no school shooting and have them call my mom on her job talking about you got to get off because I done shot up the school.
child.
My mom would have been like, is she one of the ones that's laying dead out there?
Because she will be.
Oh, okay, okay, because you tell her to just lay out in the middle of the quad. Because if she's still there when I get there, there's going to be a problem. Now, see, I still have a very healthy fear of my mom. I am my mother's youngest child. Okay, at this advanced age, I am her youngest child, and I still sit a certain distance away from my mom when I'm talking trash. Because I know, like
Oh, don't play
Brandy's
no game.
mom is a softie, right? But Brandy's mom has this look that she can give over her glasses. That's the reason why they didn't do what they did. Because Brandy's mom would tilt her glasses down like this here, And mind you, she only had one ear thing on her glasses, so that was already tilted down here. So she'll just kind of, like, and that's all you needed. And her lip got all sharp, and her nose would kind of squinch up a little bit, like
And she balled up her lips.
Yes, Brandy's mom has the look. And that's why they didn't do anything, because she had the look. Now, my mom had the look and the two-piece. Okay. So my mom balling up her face, and then my mom could talk without moving her lips.
Yeah, that's a talent.
Yeah, every mom that trait comes out of every mom. Well, at least the ones I know.
About 2 days after the first time that you give birth, you get that power. And so she had the thing about the eyes. Her eyes would her face wouldn't move, but her eyes would just kind of
squinch
a little bit. Her mouth would just tighten just a little bit, and she would talk without moving her lips. And she enunciated completely. And you knew that your ass was grass when you got to the car. Now, she would never break while we were in mixed company.
Can't do that.
But in the car, you caught hell. And so you just knew you didn't want to make her mad, and you didn't want to embarrass her. And these kids have no concept of embarrassment, because we are all trying to be friends and I understand about feelings, because you want to listen to your child's feelings, because I think it's the kind of thing that happens when you don't, or you're not aware of your child's feelings. They get angry and then they shoot you. But you don't allow your child's emotions to rule your household.
That's what I meant. I mean,
I understand completely. You don't allow your child's emotions to rule your household, because how are you going to allow someone who doesn't know how to wipe their ass good to control the things that go on in your house? I still pay for your toilet paper, and you're going to tell me what you're not going to do in my house?
No,
not
doing that.
These kids don't have guidance. We allow free range, like Hustle Man had them free range chickens. We allow our kids to be free range.
True.
And just do whatever they want to do, because they're expressing their feelings. Well, unfortunately, they don't know how to and when to express.
No.
You don't express your feelings in church. You sit down and you shush until we get outside. You don't express your feelings loudly in the grocery store, because this is not the time nor the place. You do it when you get in the car. You tell me what's wrong when we get in the car. You don't get to shout out what you're like. There's no sense of borders that we have. And so I think, for the most part, a lot of these kids who experience bullying and the kids who are the bullies don't have any structure.
Yeah.
There's no structure.
I second that.
And so a lot of these kids are looking to be stopped. But no, think about the kid in Detroit most recently, at the high school in Detroit. That kid wrote notes in class on his homework, on his schoolwork, very plainly telling the teachers and the administrators what he was about to do. I
think he wanted them to stop him from doing it.
He wanted to be stopped.
But his parents didn't give any energy towards it.
No, but neither did the administrators. Neither did any adult in his life.
They tried to contact the parents several times. I think the parents even went in and they might have said something to him. And they told him he couldn't come back to school or something like that until he had a therapist or something. But the parents didn't do jack, basically.
He wanted to be stopped.
The mom basically said, you can do all that stuff, but don't get caught, is what she said about his drawings and stuff like that.
And this is the reason why his parents have been denied bail yet again. Both of his parents were arrested and they were denied bail yet again very recently by a judge.
Good.
These kids,
they didn't want to hear something. They didn't. listen to the school counselor or whatever. Because I think at first they found the things in his locker, and then he was drawing stuff in class, and the teacher alerted the principal or whatever, and they called the parents, but the parents just they didn't do anything. But then got the nerve to run later on.
Because they told him not to get caught. So that meant you knew that he was doing something wrong. He was doing something wrong. And this is, we're talking about Sandy Hook, but more importantly, what happens with the shooters. And, again, this is being unscripted. This is what happens. I remember when growing up, there was no such thing as privacy outside of the bathroom. And even in the bathroom, what are you doing in there? Wash,
You're in there too
get
long.
out.
You're in there too long.
What are you doing in your room? Open the door. Open the door. There was no such thing as you can't come in my room. You can't see.
Right.
We didn't have phones, but we had house phones in our rooms. I had my brothers had a separate line. I had a line. And there was a certain time of night that my phone could not ring. I'd have to turn the ringer off because I could not allow my mom to hear the phone ring after 10 p.m.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? After 10 o'clock, my phone better not ring. Now, if I was already on the phone, I had to get off by midnight, but you could not call me after 10. Things like that. Inspections. Let me see your bag. What's in your bag? What's in your bag? Just random. What's in your bag? Because if you had an extra pair of clothes in your bag, what are you going to do? Are you going
to do? Stay close, man. What you doing?
Why are you in the garage? Open the garage door.
Which one was it with the boys who had planned the whole thing in their garage and the parents didn't know? How you don't know what's in your garage?
That was Columbine.
Columbine.
It's Columbine?
Yeah.
It was that's them. They planned it for weeks.
Didn't know things going on in their room.
Everything. Videos, everything, guns, everything planned for weeks. And they didn't even know it was right there in their house. How you not know? Because I'm not.
Because we want them to have privacy and we want them to have a sense of self. Listen, just like when you go to the military, you belong to Uncle Sam. You belong to me before that.
Y'all ever busted in your kids
before that?
I'm responsible for you.
You ever busted in your kids' room and just looked?
I have.
And you shut the door.
I have. I didn't realize I did it until I saw the memes or the videos and stuff about it. JJ, oh Lord, baby, I was infamous for just.
Now I don't do it as much because they're older and there's some things that they may be doing that I don't want to see.
Oh,
but when they were younger, I mean, my kids are grown now, so
yeah.
But
when they were younger,
it's funny. My daughter is the oldest out of all of our kids. I'll knock on her door because that's what I have a thing like door as a girl. If your door is closed, you knock. But I will go in her room and just start looking at stuff like all of her books. Now she's 24. I will go in her bedroom and just start looking through stuff all on the bookcase. What is this? What are you doing? And it's just, it's all in jest. But I've done that. Let me see your phone. Why? I just want to see what's in your phone. And then I'll give it right back.
Yep.
Because it's not that I didn't necessarily trust her, but I just want to see what other people are sending you. Because if someone else sends you something inappropriate, guess whose parents I'm about to call right now? Get them on the phone now. Get them on the phone right now.
My kids didn't even have phones until they were 18, I guess.
I do random stuff.
Everybody have phones but them. But I'm like, we have a house phone.
Well, my kids, I use random cell phones. Random. See, if I tell you what day I'm doing, I don't know what you just set up. So this is what I would do. See, I know they would start trying to, kind of map out what I'm gonna do. It'll be 11 o'clock at night. I'll wake them up. Let me see our phones. They'll be like, what is it? I need to see what's going on. Because don't think I don't know about how sexual predation works when you young, that we don't talk about as much. You know what I'm saying? When we was 11 and 12 and dudes that you thought 18, 19 was cool trying to holler at you, that's nasty. Now that I think about it, now as I'm older. So yes. Right. And all these apps going on. Yeah, let me see.
But that's also how, just with the sexual predators, you have other types of predators as well, with, like Brandy said, with information, people who radicalize their kids with religion, with countercultures, all kinds of things. And in our, at a certain age, our minds are like still like sponges, and we're very vulnerable, especially if there's something going on at home. We become vulnerable to suggestion. And the think about the girls who tried to kill their best friend because, was it the shadow man or something told them to do it? Something crazy like that.
The shadow
so
man.
All of this comes into play.
Oh, Slender Man.
Yeah. Slender Man. So all of this comes into play. And as far as the guy with Sandy Hook, Adam, unfortunately, we will never know what caused him to do this. We can just speculate based on school shootings before, the psychology of school shooters before and school shooters after.
We don't even have a speculation.
No, we don't. We could just think about what, motives. Sandy Hook was the second worst school shooting, mass shooting, outside of the Virginia Tech. Was it Virginia Tech? School shooting, when I think there was 33 people killed at Virginia Tech, or some number like that. So Sandy Hook was
number one.
Yeah, was the second worst. And then there's church shootings and also school theaters and political rallies and all of that. But this is something that Jackie and I found looking at school shootings, because I knew that this modern era of school shootings didn't just start in the 2000s or the late 90s. There were school shootings before that, but I'm thinking maybe the late 80s. No. We have documented school shootings as early as 1840.
That's crazy.
1840. This is antebellum United States, before the Civil War. 1840. There are school shootings. Anywhere from the teacher discipline the student and the father comes, or the student comes back to shoot the administrator, or the administrator shooting the student. There was those things where the principal would shoot the student, the teacher shot the student.
Crazy.
In the 1940s, there was a guy from New York whose daughter did not want to come home from her boarding school. So he took his gun, went to the school, and shot his daughter because she did not want to come home. Now you have to think, why didn't she want to come home?
You know why she didn't want to.
I was like, this is giving me
we have a strong idea. His mannerism alone told us why she doesn't want to come back home.
This is giving me some incest and rape vibes here. This is really rapey, that you would force her to come home, but then go and kill her because she doesn't want to.
Why do you guys think that most school shootings are white males?
Ooh.
Let me try to think how much I want people to like me, because it's for sure privilege.
Slippery slope. And I don't necessarily think my answer is going to be racial.
It's racial.
It is going to be racial, but not malicious.
Right.
I think it's white males, and according to, and this is a document from Wikipedia, I know that Wikipedia is publicly driven, but go take a look at the list. From what I gather, It seems as if most of the perpetrators of those crimes, there were some girls who actually shot teachers and their friends or whatever, but for the most part, white males. I think it's a superiority complex
Mm-hmm.
that, and it's a superiority complex singular to white America. Now, you got Europeans who have a sort of a superiority complex, but they're in their own country. So we don't need to be superior because we're in our own damn country. White Americans aren't in their own country because there's no such thing.
There's no
Right?
such thing.
There's no such thing. So white Americans who consider themselves to be white weren't white prior to what, the 40s? They weren't white. They were whatever nationality or country they came from. But anyway, it's a superiority thing. They come from someplace else, and they came to the US to establish dominance over the land and over the indigenous people and over African enslaved Africans. So when they shoot somebody, it's a betrayal that you're not giving me what I want. How dare you not give me what I want? So it's a king-like false sense of primogeniture, like everything I see is going to come to me. They're like Mufasa and Simba, everything that your eye can see belongs to you type of thing. And white kids are taught that from the womb. Everything you see can be yours. So when you don't give that to me, or a teacher disciplines you, a teacher who does not have as much money or as much clout as your mother and your father, how dare you? I'm going to shoot you. And not only am I going to shoot you, I'm going to walk away from it. 9 times out of 10, they are able to walk away from it because someone is going to be there to explain the fragility of their crime, of their offense.
It's the same as January 6th of last year. Why did all those grown folks go up there and tear up tearing up folks' house,
and they explained it away by, he told me to do it.
Yeah.
I was driven to do it. I didn't do this, or I did this out of a sense of obligation to my country. I had to do this.
Yes.
And I had to do this, and I don't want to be punished.
Yeah, don't punish me.
I don't want to be punished. I was at a weak point in my life. I didn't know what I was doing. I made the reservations on the airplane. I called the hotel to make sure I had a king-size non-smoking room. I made sure that I had my New Balance 620 dad shoes on deck, but I didn't know what I was doing. That is always the excuse, or it's a mental illness.
I always think of them going like this, but I'm white. In my mind, when I see them do the absolute most, things that they personally feel like anybody else should be punished for, and then they get punished for it, when they do this number here, like, I feel like they go, but I'm white.
Okay, the best example of that most recently,
that's how I feel. Really do.
Is the Ahmaud Arbery case. So all 3 men were convicted, and recently all 3 men were given life. The neighbor guy, and I forget his name, which it doesn't even matter, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He got 20 years plus. He got life plus 20. So he didn't get life without parole. He got life plus 20. And there's a picture of him with a look on his face like he can't believe.
And the crazy thing is, he's the one that released the tape.
Yes.
Like, oh, you guys can see the tape to see that we had the right to kill this guy.
Right, because I'm white.
And this explains it.
Why would we not be able to do this?
This explains it, as like you can see he was running, and you can see he turned around and looked at us like, like, leave me alone. You can see it, that type of I'm going to use a word from one of my professors, of hubris, of you thought think so much of yourself and your actions that you are above reproach.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if folks hadn't given it so much attention, they weren't even going to prosecute them.
No.
So they were correct.
Yeah.
They were
correct, because they weren't. Only reason that they ended up prosecuting him is because there was such an uproar.
4 months after the young man had been murdered. He died in February. I found out about Ahmaud Arbery like in May.
Yeah.
And the prosecutor wasn't going to convict them.
Nope.
Is she in trouble now from how she handled the case?
Yeah, she was arrested right after they were arrested.
So it would be correct that I'm not going to get in trouble.
And I'm sure she has a.
And I can say that although especially white men, but white people in general are given the impression that the world belongs to them. I don't think a lot of white people are very conscious of the privilege or the conscious of that knowledge until they do something. It's triggered or activated once they do something and want to get away with it. Then it's like, this is why that's why we have Karens, because they do something and then when we catch them, they start screaming their fucking heads off.
But they do it because they think they can.
Right, but prior to that, a lot of people don't understand that they even have the privilege until they are in a tight spot. I have a lot of white friends, and I know you're not supposed to say that because that's just like saying I have black friends, but I do, right? But one thing that, and I'm just going to be honest, one thing that a lot of older Black people have told me is watch them, because they're going to tell on themselves.
I think a lot of them know that they have privilege.
A lot of them know, but a lot of them don't even know how to use it or what it exactly is until the tight spot happens. And then they say the thing that they say that they never say, or they do the thing, they scream, or they use the privilege. And I'm not saying this happens for all white people, because it's not true.
No,
it's not true. I've seen some white people use their privilege on the flip side. But do you know they have privilege, and I'm gonna use it to get back at you other white people? Like I've seen that part.
Yeah, I think the men in the Arbery trial, they knew their privilege.
Absolutely. They were so steeped in white privilege. White people in Georgia, if no other place on the planet, are spoon-fed this type of privilege, because not only are they spoon-fed the privilege, it is in the books that they are allowed to do this. There are so many antiquated laws in the South that as modern people we're thinking, it doesn't apply, but you'll get your ass in trouble if you want to, and they will dig that mess up. Just like that lawyer talked about Ahmaud Arbery's feet. What kind of phrenology bullshit did he bring out to talk about the way that the man's feet looked?
So that was the reason for him dying, because his feet,
with his attitude, because he had long toenails.
It was okay for them to do what they did because he had long toenails.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my damn life.
That's the same type of pseudoscience that the Nazis used about nose length and the cranium size to sort people into different train cars to gas them. That is the same type of attitude. So think about I forget where it is. I think it's in the Northeast, where there's a judge who keeps sentencing like 5 or 6 year old Black kids to jail for crimes that they never even did. But guess what? It's allowed and it's overlooked because it's in the law. Slavery wasn't illegal. It was immoral.
Wow.
So these things that these people do are allowed under the law of the land. So they're spoon-fed this and they know this. So this is why they get away with it, because it's written out for them. Black people are spoon-fed the Bible, white people are spoon-fed the law.
And we also know that we ain't got that the law is not going to be on our side.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you may have mental illness.
This is why we are surprised about the Ahmaud Arbery case.
Yeah.
Everybody is like, are they gonna be guilty? And then they were guilty on 8 of 9 counts. And we're like, okay. And then you give them life without parole. What? This is why we're surprised when Derek Chauvin got 25. What? Wait, what? Because the law is never on our side. Even if we perceive it to be, it's never on our side. So this is why we have these shooters, because they know, especially now, that it's popular to say that everyone has a mental illness. I have anxiety. I have a mental illness. I have anxiety. I have anxiety. I'm not going to go shoot up anybody. I might, I might have a panic episode, but the only thing I'm going to do is get really, really quiet.
Even the guy that did the shooting in the suburb of Detroit or wherever, I think it's like 2 hours away from Detroit, but whatever. Did you see the pictures that they was putting pictures from when he was in junior high school and elementary school, holding animals and helping children? Like, where's his older pictures?
Where's his mugshot?
They ain't gonna show that. But
where's his mugshot?
He was such a loving child and all that. Let it be Marquise that went up there and shot that school up.
They're gonna bring up Marquise's detention record from the 2nd grade.
But Trayvon Moore didn't even do nothing, and they showed all the any bad picture they can even find. They were looking up pictures from when he was 10.
They vilified his best friend who wasn't even present at the time of the shooting.
Yeah.
We already know when there's a school shooting, what is the first thing that Black people always do? We do this.
Betty White.
We do that. And then we wait for the Sunday school pictures, the 2nd grade teacher to come out and say what a wonderful kid he was, and all of that, because we know that the narrative is already being built and the story is being told. And the shooters know that too.
You used to write his name so perfect.
They're allowed to humanize.
They are humanized immediately, while the victims are dehumanized. And it doesn't matter if the victims are white, the victims are Black, the victims are male, the victims are female. Whomever the victims are, they are immediately dehumanized.
Yes.
You're going to find all kinds of stuff, bad stuff about the victims immediately. They're going to flood the waves with information about the victims, but you very rarely are able to find anything negative about the perpetrator of the crime. Sometimes they don't even want to put their name because they're afraid of what people might do.
Yep.
So I think that's why. But if you look at that list from 1840 until now, and you look at the reasons why they shot whomever they shot, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
There was one where a boy shot one of his classmates because he wouldn't give a note to a girl who went to an all-girls school that he knew. Are you that fragile? So it's not that we have modern fragility. Fragility is built into the very foundation of
water balloons. I mean, you got to read this. BW, you got to read these water, because he got in trouble by throwing a water balloon, so he kills the teacher. Like Brandy was saying, the situation where what are you just saying, Brandy? God damn it.
he killed his classmate because he wouldn't pass a note.
Some of these are just,
and it's just crazy because the reasons that are given are like, you have got to be kidding me. These are not reasons of like, the person really did something to you. No, these are very like, go home and sleep it off or call your parents and we'll talk about it type things.
I also want to remind y'all, another way that they threw off the Sandy Lake shooting was the conspiracy theories. I don't know if y'all remember that drastic ass. When I tell you, it was pissing me off.
What is his name? Alex something from InfoWars. Yes. He was sued. I think that they just ruled that. Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Conspiracy theories.
Y'all still trying to take it off of him by saying that it's fake, that it was made up. Even have pictures of some of the kids like later on in life, with the president. I mean, they went all out. It's a big thing.
I mean, they did that for January 6th too. It was Antifa and whatever in there pretending like they were
for a long time.
But I mean, if you have Holocaust deniers, then you can definitely have Sandy Hook deniers.
What happened? Wait, what were they saying? What was saying on the
6th? You have conspiracy theorists who say the Holocaust never happened. Slavery never happened.
Oh my God. Okay. So the people that actually still are a few people that are still living from the Holocaust are making it up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Made the whole thing up. The piles of gold teeth, the piles of shoes, the piles of bones, and the lamps of made of human skin, the book covers made of human skin, all of that is just fake.
Just forget that. We've seen them on the TV storm the thing. We saw them.
It's all fake, Brand. It's all deep state and it's all fake.
What?
It was Antifa and it was all these folks out there, but it wasn't them.
No, it wasn't them. Because they have convinced themselves in order to not be responsible, that they convinced themselves that someone else, some other entity made them do it. These are the same people who were down in Dallas a month ago in the rain talking about JFK was going to come back. Someone else made them do it. It's never my responsibility. It's never I did this. Someone else, some other entity made me do it. Mental illness, President Trump, QAnon, all of these people, they made me do it. They have to, Antifa, BLM has to be responsible for January 6th.
Well, that's a story they're trying to push now.
That's BLM?
That is BLM?
And they were nonviolent until the police started attacking them.
First of all, the police were standing by like bumps on a damn log the entire time.
But what happened to Blue Lives Matter, though?
Girl, they don't do it.
They don't care. They don't give a damn about no police.
They don't care about all lives matter either.
They only care about the police when the police are killing other people. But if you notice any video of any female or male Karen, whenever the police are engaging with them for their behavior, it's never peaceful. They don't just comply. It's not, okay, you know what, I'm going to go, you're the law, I'm going to listen. No, they fight tooth and nail because it's never my responsibility. It's always someone else. If you look at the list of school shootings and all these shootings, it is someone else. Someone pissed me off. Some girl rejected me. I didn't get into law school.
Mad at the teacher.
I'm mad at the teacher. What's the lady from Alabama that we did a couple months ago? The teacher, the professor from Harvard and from UAB.
Amy Bishop.
Amy Bishop. She killed her co-workers because she didn't get tenure. Now, mind you, she was crazy as a damn road lizard. But it wasn't her fault. You gonna kill your co-worker.
She's a narcissistic. Just
yes, it's never my fault. It's the co-workers because they were talking about me being crazy.
Intelligence.
Yeah, they were talking about you being crazy for years. You killed your brother. You tried to kill your boss. You crazy. But it's their fault because they talked about it and they caused me not to get tenure. No, you're not that smart and you're crazy as hell.
She thought she was so smart.
You're average at best and it hurts you to be average.
She swore she was smart.
And that's the vein that runs through all of these things. Some of these men are geniuses. Look at Ted Kaczynski, absolute fucking genius. But again, he never wanted to take responsibility for his own crazy. So he blamed the planes flying overhead in his Montana cabin that were interrupting nature, which they probably were, but interrupting nature. So now you're going to kill everybody. So it doesn't matter how smart, how brilliant, how much of a genius, how affluent, how much money. It doesn't matter. It's just fragility. And once something breaks their sense of superiority, oh, you're going to have to pay for that. Yep. And it's not just you, because it's not a one person. I'm going to make everybody pay because everybody had a hand in this. Everybody had a hand in it. I'm going to make all these parents pay. I'm going to make these parents in Sandy Hook suffer. So I'm going to kill their kids. So when I'm at the grocery store and they look at me funny, I know all their kids go to the elementary school, so I'm going to kill their kids. They won't look at me funny anymore. That type of shit. And I don't know if Adam said that. I don't know if Adam Lanza said that. But that's the type of things we can speculate upon because he ain't here and he didn't say nothing. I'm going to make them suffer. I'm going to make people like my mom suffer, people who are rich and unaffected and oblivious. I'm going to make them suffer. They don't deserve their kids type stuff.
Yeah.
And in the end, when the story is told, the story is going to be, I had a troubled childhood and I was mentally ill and I couldn't help myself. So I know I went on and on, but I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
They do it because they can.
Yep. Exactly why they do it.
They do it because they can.
Privilege. And just.
And the one time that I think that privilege was shown and it was disgusting, it still makes my stomach hurt, is when Dylan Ralph was escorted out of his house and taken to fucking Burger King after he shot 9 people in a Bible study in North South Carolina.
Man.
Nothing exhibited the privilege that we're talking about more than that.
Oh, that little shit.
That man committed an atrocious hate crime and you take him to Burger King.
To feed him. So much so that even the news was shocked. I remember the news being like, did he just take, even the news was like, what?
That is worse than Jesus breaking bread with Judas Iscariot. You know what I mean? Like, wait, what?
I remember that.
Not only did he shoot the folks, he did it in the church.
In the
sanctuary.
After they welcomed him in. That's the even harsher part. When he walked in, how they welcomed him into their space so that he can learn. And then his whole intention.
That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But just for clarification, if what we described in this episode today does not describe you, keep it to yourself and keep your feelings on your sleeve, okay? If we're not talking about you, booby, we're not talking about you. We don't know you. We didn't call your name, so we're not talking about you, okay?
Your feelings is hurt, then more than like.
Because if what a hit dog holler, okay? A hit dog will holler. So, but we don't know your name. So we didn't call your name. So we not talking about you. Okay. So if you in your feelings, what did you say, Brittany, last week? Drink a cup of coffee and have a good night.
And that's on me.
And that's on that. Good night, y'all. We'll see you on next week.